The undisputed queen of disco, Donna Summer lit up dance floors in the late 70s with hypnotic hits like I Feel Love and Hot Stuff. Born in 1948, she reigned over the genre with a voice that was equal parts power and sensuality. With his iconic falsetto and glittering white suit, Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees became the face and sound of the disco era. Born in 1946, he's now 78 and forever remembered for era-defining anthems like Stayin' Alive and Night Fever. Gloria Gaynor gave the world its ultimate anthem of empowerment with I Will Survive. Born in 1943, she's now 81 and still shining with the same strength and soul that made her a disco legend. KC brought the funk to the disco scene with those wild dance floor bangers like That's the Way I Like It. Born in 1951, he's 74 and remains a beloved icon of mirrorball madness. As the voice behind the Tramps, Jimmy Ellis set the world ablaze with disco inferno. Born in 1948, he passed away in 2012 at age 74. But his voice is still burning through every retro dance party. Nile Rodgers didn't just play disco, he defined it. As the driving force behind Chic's Le Freak and Good Times, this 72-year-old guitar genius shaped the sound of an entire era, and he's still producing hits today. Victor Willis was the original cop in Village People, belting out YMCA and Macho Man with a swagger that only disco could handle. Born in 1951, he's now 73 and still rocking that signature mustache and charisma. With wild funk-infused energy, Jimmy Castor gave us It's Just Begun, a track that felt like the dawn of a disco revolution. Born in 1943, he passed in 2012 at 68, but his genre-bending grooves are still sampled and celebrated today. Robin Gibb brought haunting harmonies and emotional depth to the Bee Gees' disco catalog, from How Deep Is Your Love to Night Fever. Born in 1949, he passed away in 2012 at age 62, leaving behind a falsetto that never fades. As the cool in the gang, Robert Bell brought celebration to life and made Ladies' Night a must on every party playlist. Born in 1950, he's 75 and still spreading joy with those unmistakable grooves. Crossover Queen Gloria Estefan brought Latin flair to the disco scene with Conga and Rhythm Is Gonna Get You. Born in 1957, she's now 68 and remains a glowing symbol of rhythm, energy, and glitter. Barry White didn't just sing, he seduced with songs like You're the First, The Last, My Everything. Born in 1944, he passed in 2003 at 58, but his deep velvet voice still whispers sweet nothings to disco lovers everywhere. Maurice White led Earth, Wind, and Fire with cosmic funk and radiant positivity, blessing the world with September and Boogie Wonderland. Born in 1941, he passed in 2016 at 74, but he left behind a galaxy of grooves. Bernard Edwards was the bass genius behind Chic, giving us some of the most iconic disco rhythms ever recorded. Born in 1952, he died in 1996 at just 43, but Good Times, that was all him. Before disco fully hit, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes were already laying the soulful foundation with tracks like If You Don't Know Me By Now. Born in 1939, Harold passed in 1997 at age 57, but his smooth sound still echoes through the era. Ralph Tavares helped turn sibling harmony into disco gold with Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel. Born in 1941, he passed in 2021 at 79, but that falsetto magic still lifts hearts on every dance floor. Sylvester James brought high-octane glamour to disco with You Make Me Feel Mighty Real, and trust us, it still feels mighty real. Born in 1947, he passed in 1988 at 41, but his legacy blazed a bold, fabulous trail for generations. Rick James turned funk into fire with Super Freak, bridging the gap between disco and rebellious cool. Born in 1948, he passed in 2004 at 56. But no party is complete without his electric, outrageous vibe. Discovered while cleaning bathrooms at a recording studio, Evelyn Champagne King popped onto the scene with Shame and Love Come Down. Born in 1960, she's 65 and still bubbling with groove and charm. Mark Cerrone brought a Euro disco twist with love in C minor and supernature, mixing sci-fi, sensuality, and synths. Born in 1952, the French disco pioneer is now 73. Maurice Gibb, the quiet powerhouse of the Bee Gees, laid down harmonies that made disco unforgettable. Born in 1949, he passed in 2003 at 53, but his voice lives on in every slow-motion dance scene ever filmed. Diana Ross didn't just join disco, she dominated it. With Love Hangover and Upside Down, this Motown icon, born in 1944, now 81, proved she could reinvent herself and rule every dance floor. As the wild frontman of Boney M., Bobby Farrell made Daddy Cool and Rasputin global disco sensations. Born in 1949, he passed in 2010 at 61. But his moves and mustache are still legendary. Before launching her solo career, Norma Jean Wright brought soulful fire to chic classics like Le Freak and I Want Your Love. Born in 1950, she's 74, and her voice still drips with style and shimmer. Izora Rhodes belted out It's Raining Men with hurricane force as one half of the Weather Girls. Born in 1942, she passed in 2004 at 62, but that powerhouse energy still storms through every bar. The Baby Bee Gee, Andy Gibb top chart solo with Shadow Dancing and I Just Want to Be Your Everything. Born in 1958, he passed in 1988 at just 30. But his dreamy eyes and velvet vocals live on in disco heaven. Debbie Sledge brought the spirit of sisterhood to the dance floor with Weir Family. Born in 1954, she's 70 and forever part of disco's most beloved girl group legacy. Grace Jones didn't follow trends, she shattered them. With Pull Up to the Bumper, her futuristic fashion and fierce persona, this 77-year-old icon redefined what disco could be. Cheryl Lynn's Gotta Be Real is still the unofficial theme song of every mirror ball moment. Born in 1957, she's 68 and still keeping it real with a voice that never quits. When Thelma Houston sang Don't Leave Me This Way, she gave disco its ultimate heartbreak anthem. Born in 1946, she's 79, and her vocals still burn bright with emotion and fire. As one of Chic's original vocalists, Alpha Anderson lent her smooth vocals to Le Freak and I Want Your Love. Born in 1946, she sadly passed away in 2024 at 78, but her voice still echoes in every groove-laden beat. Known as the powerhouse behind It's Raining Men and many uncredited 90s hits, Martha Wash has always been the voice that shook the dance floor. Born in 1953, she's 71 and rightfully dubbed the Queen of Clubland. When Loleatta Holloway belted Love Sensation, she gave disco one of its most sampled and soul-drenched anthems. Born in 1946, she passed in 2011 at 64. But her fiery voice continues to light up tracks to this day. With her sultry smash rocking chair, Gwen McCrae made bedroom disco a thing. Born in 1943, she passed in 2025 at 81. But her slow grooves still get hips swaying. A disco diva with a gospel edge, Roberta Kelly brought energy to Troublemaker and backed Silver Convention with serious soul. Born in 1942, she's 82, and her impact on the Euro disco wave remains legendary. From Jesus Christ Superstar to Disco Queen, Yvonne Elliman hit her stride with the Bee Gees penned If I Can't Have You. Born in 1952, she's 74, and that soft rock disco fusion still hits just right. Disco darling, Andrea True gave us the breathy, unforgettable More, More, More. Born in 1943, she passed in 2011 at 68. leaving behind one of the most iconic tracks of the glitter era. Nobody knocks on disco's door quite like Ami Stewart. With her flashy style and a powerhouse take on Knock on Wood, she made 1979 sparkle. Born in 1956, she's 69 and forever fabulous. France Jolie was just 16 when she released Come to Me, and suddenly every roller rink had its new anthem. Born in 1963, she's 62 and still a cult favorite among disco diehards. Van McCoy gave the world the hustle and basically invented a dance craze in the process. Born in 1940, he passed in 1979 at just 39. But his orchestral disco vibes live on in every glittery spin. Before his solo superstardom, Lionel Richie was funking it up with the Commodores on tracks like Brick House. Born in 1949, he's 75 and still dancing on the ceiling, just with a little more finesse. As the silky voice of Shalimar, Howard Hewitt helped define smooth disco funk with A Night to Remember. Born in 1955, he's now 70, and yes, his voice is still pure velvet.